And, normally when I do this podcast, well, I've only done a couple episodes, but I would have my friends on with me. But, it was just too hard to kind of get everyone together. Distance is a thing. With these LA fires, it's a little bit harder as well. Busy schedules, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to start doing this podcast on my own. And, I'll probably have guests on, stuff like that. And yeah, we're going to keep this thing going. I want to kind of start really getting into this podcast game a lot more. I feel like I have a lot to say. I feel like my opinions are very good, and I feel like I can contribute a lot in this space. So here we go. And this is, I guess, episode 3 of the HoodTake Podcast. Welcome. For people who don't know, I'm 31 years old. I've been living in LA most of my life. Former foster kid, grew up in the system. Um, Definitely have like a different perspective on that than a lot of people. But I'm a trainer, social media manager, actor, stunt actor, and I make a lot of different content. So let's get to know me and let's take on this journey, right? I'm also an active cannabis user, live in LA, so cannabis is a big thing out here. But yeah, there's been a lot going on in LA. With the fires, it's been pretty crazy. Um, my uncle was affected with these fires. We don't know if he's lost his house or if he still has his house, and God, hopefully God will protect his house and he'll still have that house. Crazy thing is about Altadena back in the day in the 70s was like pretty much an all black neighborhood. I mean, it's still predominantly black, but that area has kind of grown as far as, what its net worth, right? A lot of people didn't think that area was going to be worth much, and then now it's worth a lot of money. So he bought his house in the 70s for $30,000. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. That's pretty crazy to think that you could buy a full on house like that with a great view of LA for $30,000. But, that shows you how bad inflation has really gotten in this country. Like, it's crazy to think that nobody in my generation will ever buy a house for $30,000. Just never. It's never happening. So it's kind of crazy to kind of hear and see. But yeah, I got a lot to say when it comes to these fires. I don't understand how, like, we're in 2025, right? And we haven't come up with a different technology to kind of fight fires. Like, we're still using the same shit that we've been doing since like the 70s and 80s. We're using the same type of chemicals, we're using the same type of water pressures and all that stuff as back then. Nothing has kind of developed to fight fires in a more efficient way. So it got my brain to thinking, is there a better way to fight fires, right? And with that being said, with AI being such a great tool, I decided to ask ChatGPT if there was a better way to fight fires. And this is what ChatGPT came up with. Yes, drones can be an excellent tool for combating wildfires due to their versatility and ability to perform tasks that are otherwise dangerous, time consuming, or costly for humans. Here are several ways drones can be used effectively in wildfire management. Number one, early detection and monitoring. Monitoring. I don't know why I said that wrong. Drones equipped with infrared and thermal imaging cameras can detect wildfires early, even in remote areas. See, that's good to know. They can monitor hotspots, track fire spread, and provide real time data to firefighting teams. This is really good, right? Oh, they didn't defund it. So that's kind of like a myth. A lot of people think that it got defunded. Actually, the budget got increased in LA. What happened was a percentage of the money went to the LA uh, police department, which people wanted, but the budget got increased no matter what for both. So I did my research on that, and it turns out that I was kind of wrong that it got defunded. But anyway, here we go. Number two, this is assessing fire behavior. Drones can provide aerial views of fire patterns, helping firefighters understand behavior and movement of the fire. This data allows for better planning and resource allocation, which is crazy to think that drones can do all this, right? And we still haven't implemented drones to do this. We could be fighting fires a lot better with this. Here we go. Number three, mapping and data collection. High resolution cameras and sensors can map terrain, vegetation, and fire lines. This information is critical for predicting fire spread and planning containment strategies. See, they use the prison, the guys in prisons to kind of map out fire lines and stuff like that, right? But we could literally be using drones to do it so much faster and more effectively. So that's a good one. Number four, dropping fire retardants. Larger drones are being developed to carry and drop water or fire retardants in areas that are too dangerous for inaccessible helicopters and planes. See, now we've seen that some of these drones can be as big as cars and all that, right? So why aren't they using drones to drop water and fire retardants? Especially because there's no risk. If the drone freaking blows up, the drone blows up. But you could also put a coating on these drones to where that they're the heat resistance of these drones. So that's another one why I don't understand why we're not doing that. But yeah, search and rescue. Now this is a big one. During evacuations, drones can help locate, guide individuals or animals trapped in fire zones, especially at night, using thermal imaging. See, I have a drone myself, and my drone can do thermal imaging. Not only that, it can talk, like meaning that I can have my drone go over 100. What is it? Well, it can go farther than that, but I can have it go far and deliver a message through typing it on my drone pad, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know why we're not doing that either, because that could be so much effective. You could be having people getting rescued and then having people follow the drone because drones have like another flashlight underneath it, and they can be following the light to safety. So that's a good one. On Six, communication and coordination. Drones can act as mobile communication relays in areas where traditional networks fail, ensuring continuous coordination among firefighting teams. That's a big one. That's a big one because we hear about these firefighters, not being able to communicate to each other what's going on because they start to lose connection due to the fact that the lines have gone down. That's a good one. Number seven, post-fire assessment. After a wildfire, drones can survey the affected area to assess damage, monitor for flare-ups, and help with recovery planning. That is huge. Again, this is stuff that we can't normally do in I would say, fast manner. Benefit safety keeps humans out of dangerous areas. Cost effectiveness reduces the need for expensive aircraft or extensive manpower. Efficiency provides faster and more precise data than traditional methods. Environmental impact minimizes risks to ecosystems by targeting specific areas for suppression. See, that's another thing. When firefighters are fighting these fires, we do a lot of damage to the ecosystem. Imagine being able to fight these fires and not damage the ecosystem. That's huge. Now, challenges. These are some of the challenges that can happen with using drones. Battery life, limited flight time in some drones, payload limitations for smaller drones, but the smaller drones would probably be used for other things. Can't carry large amounts of retardant unless you use the bigger drones. Regulation and airspace management, coordinating drone operations with manned aircraft during firefighting efforts. Well, they can fly low enough, but for the ones that need to drop retardants and water, they need to fly a certain height. So I understand that part. With advancements in drone technology and proper integration into wildfire management strategies, drones could play a pivotal role in mitigating the impact of wildfires. Now, why aren't we using these? Like, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to like what's going on in the news, but have you seen China's drone displays? They've used drones in a way that it's pretty significant. Like, they've literally have mastered drones over there. Now we're using them out here, but we're not using them like we should. I mean, imagine it takes. I heard it takes an estimation of a firefighter, right? When they get to the scene of a wildfire, right? One, they have to get there, right? So it takes time to get there. Two, they then have to map out how they're going to plan and attack this fire. That's more time. That means the fire is still growing. Versus a drone can get there faster, map out the situation, come up with a plan faster, and now we're fighting this fire before it gets any bigger. We need to start implementing our technology in firefighting. Not only that, we just need to be implementing our technology a lot better. I feel like because of all these laws and all this litigation that we have to do before anything gets done, it's getting in the way of progress. And with that being said, we need to progress. We have the technology, so let's use it. Let's progress. Why aren't we even using AI to figure out this stuff? Why is it that me, a civilian, figured this out faster than our own politicians? Now, I'm not saying our politicians are bad, and I'm not saying that they're perfect either. But what I am saying is, how am I able to figure this out faster than they have? Right? So these are things that I've kind of figured out along the way with using AI. Um, and I think that we need to implement this. Now, what I do plan on doing with this plan, I do want to go to a couple LA town halls and present this plan to our council members. And maybe then we can get the ball rolling. And then maybe then we can progress and the next wildfire doesn't end up being this devastating, because this is ridiculous. For as much technology as we own and as much technology that we have kind of come up with as a people, there's no way that a fire fight should be going on this long. Like, there's just no way that this many people should have lost their homes and be homeless now. And now that's the other part of this. It's very like frustrating to hear about like landlords increasing rent. Those landlords should be in jail. Like, if you're increasing your rent, you should be in jail during this time. I'm sorry, you should go to jail. There should be a law. Lock those fuckers away, because that's ridiculous. I don't want to hear about how our homeless population is about to grow from this. That should not be happening. These people should be able to get money to get a new home right away. If not, the government should be building their homes right now where their home used to be at, rebuild and make sure that they're able to get their homes back. There should be no, hey, you need to pay for this, and that, and the third. No, because it's because of the government and it's because of the lack of planning that this even happened to their homes. So that's another thing that needs to be worked on. It's another thing that needs to fix. So hopefully a lot of this stuff gets done. I'm hoping that we can progress as a people faster, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we have this much technology and that we're not using it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I shouldn't be able to be coming up with this. We have politicians in place for this. But moving along, dude, I've been watching a lot of good shows lately. I just finished, spoiler alert for anyone that has not seen Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. This is a spoiler alert. But wow, what an incredible Season 2. Castlevania has not disappointed me. The whole Castlevania series has been amazing. Point blank amazing. Like, whoever thought to turn this video game into a TV show is a freaking genius. This Season 2, not only has the animation even been better, the storytelling got better. The emotional impact of this season is crazy. I love the fact that, we've gotten, the Egyptian side of things going on with some Egyptian vampires, but it is so amazing. I gotta say, oh, my bad, kicked it. I got to say that the last two episodes have been probably one of the best things I've ever seen, especially episode six, no, seven. Episode seven probably had the best animated fight scenes I have ever seen in cartoon history. And this is someone who watched Avatar The Last Airbender and Avatar Korra and loved it. I'm not putting it in the same, like, I'm not going to compare it to anime because it's not fair. Let's just compare it to cartoons. As far as cartoons, hands down, Castlevania has the best fight scenes ever in cartoon history. Ever. I'm sorry. Uh, that fight scene in episode 7 to episode 8, crazy. Freaking crazy. Bro, I was at the edge of my seat. I almost was going to scream of how great those fight scenes were in episode 7 and 8 of Castlevania. It was freaking amazing. Amazing fight scenes. So if you haven't seen Castlevania Nocturne Season 2, go see it. You're going to love it. You're going to binge it. You're probably going to watch it in one day, just like how I did. Amazing show. Um, Now the way it ended, it doesn't leave any room for season 3. But from what I can tell, you know, they could do, like, they can kind of fast forward into modern times and then kind of come up with a season there and figure out a new monster to fight in a new storyline. So that'll be pretty dope to see and see how they can kind of come up with it. Moving along, let's get into the NFL, y'all. Let's get into the NFL. So the playoffs are here. Divisional round is here, and as we know, um, this is where things heat up. This is where we're gonna find out who's in the championship games. So starting off tomorrow, we have the Texans and Chiefs playing tomorrow. That's the first game up tomorrow. Um, the Texans are it's tough. The Texans have lost Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell on offense. That's your two top wide receivers. So I don't give them much of a chance, but that defense looks amazing. Now, granted, you know, who they faced last game, I get it. I get why people want to pause on kind of saying that they have a chance. I don't give them a bona fide chance, right? I give them about I give the Texans a 30% chance of beating the Chiefs. I just don't think it's hard to bet against Mahomes. Betting against Mahomes is like betting against Tom Brady. You're probably not going to win, right? He's that great. I've kind of realized that there's certain people that are just going to be great and you don't bet against. So I got the Chiefs winning the Texans. I think it's going to be close. The only way the Texans win if they could score 17 points, but I don't see it happening with losing two of your best wide receivers. So Chiefs are going to beat the Texans. Then we get to our next game on Saturday, which is going to be Commanders versus the Lions. Now, this is an interesting game. You got a rookie QB of the Commanders with an explosive offense, an offense that at one point in the season hadn't punted for what, 5 weeks straight or something like that. Crazy, right? And the quarterback seems to be clutch. He's got clutch gene written all over him. He it seems like when the game is in the fourth quarter, he turns into Tom Brady. All right. So the Lions are devastated on defense. They've lost a total of what, 12 players on offense and defense. Um, but the Lions have an explosive offense, right? They have an explosive offense. This is going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a close game, but if the game is within one score in the fourth quarter and it's only 5 minutes to go and you got the Commanders with the ball, Commanders will win that game. I think the Lions will ultimately win this game, but if it comes down to the fourth quarter and 5 minutes to go, I I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders win that one. But I still got Lions winning 34-28. Then we have Sunday's games. Now the Sunday's games, these will be I think the Lions Commanders game is going to be one of the best games. But then you have Sunday's games. You got Rams versus Eagles first up on the block right there. I got the I got the Eagles winning this game. I think their experience is going to show. I think that Jalen Hurts is finally going to get his offense going. He's going to get the ball to his playmakers. I think that the Eagles are going to win a close one. I believe it's going to be 21-17 Eagles over the Rams. And then you have the game that's going to decide a lot. You got the Bills versus the Ravens. Now, this is going to be a tough game. Lamar Jackson needs to win this game in order for his legacy to keep growing, right? I mean, ultimately, yeah, it's not going to, it may hurt his legacy a little bit, but I think for the confidence of himself, he needs to win this game. Uh, it's going to be freezing cold in Buffalo. Both teams um, are not shy about playing in the cold. But here's the difference maker here. Derrick freaking Henry. The man is going to weigh you down and weigh you down good. By the time the fourth quarter comes, if it's still a close game and you got Derrick Henry on your side in the fourth quarter, you're winning that game. So the only way the Bills win is if they can come out slinging the ball and scoring in the first two quarters consecutively. They can only punt the ball twice in the first two quarters in order for them to kind of gain a lead, because the Ravens kind of start off a little bit slow. But if the game is close in the fourth quarter, the Ravens will win. I actually got the Ravens winning this game. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think the score is going to be 28-24. Ravens win, and Lamar Jackson finally wins a significant playoff game and will face the Chiefs to decide who wins the AFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. Those are my picks. And then I'll come back next week to see my Super Bowl picks. Right? So that's my sport picks. I'm not really following the NBA this season. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, when I watch some of these NBA games, bro, like, the lack of a mid-range game with some of these players is astonishing. Like, I miss the day. Like, it's crazy. I'm 31 years old, so I grew up in both eras. I miss the days of Kobe. I love mid-range. I love the post-up game. I love that. The fact that it's kind of gone from the NBA, it sucks, because you know what to expect. You know it's going to be a lot of one-on-one basketball, a lot of shooting threes. It's boring. So I probably won't watch NBA games again until after All-Star break, when people are really playing to get in the playoffs. So that's when the games kind of get a little bit better, more competitive. But it's been kind of crazy to see that the Cavaliers having the best record in the NBA right now. That is kind of crazy. I didn't see that coming. I saw OKC coming. I mean, they've been building. Whoever runs Oklahoma as far as drafting players, bro, you're great. You consecutively have been drafting great players. Really good team. All right, so now let's get into some drama. Let's get into some hip hop drama here. First up, let's get into the little TJ, plaqueboy Max, Fivio Foreign dilemma that's going on out there. Now, when this all first started, I saw the clips like everybody else of, plaqueboy Max telling them, please don't smoke in here. This Airbnb, I can get fined, all that other stuff, yada, yada, yada. And I found it extremely disrespectful. One, don't blow smoke in my face. If that was me, I'm punching him. I don't like. Now I get it. There's a lot of dudes there, but if that's me, bro, like, hey, there's gonna be some furniture moving, and I dare you to pack me out on camera. I dare you to try to do that. Sue all you motherfuckers. But anyway, that's crazy. Then we get a diss song, which I thought was really corny from Fabio, but then I realized too, like, bro, this seems a little bit staged, right? Because just the way it was coming off from both parties, it seems staged. So I didn't believe it was really staged until freaking plaqueboy Max dropped a verse on it, because Fivio Foreign sent him the whole song, which I thought is weird. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is staged, especially because Fivio, it seems like he's got an album company coming. He dropped a single earlier this month, so it looks like he's got a album coming. And he really needs this album to do well, because his numbers are in the gutter, and he'll probably end up being dropped from his label if he doesn't do well. And Lil TJ has already been dropped from his label. He's irrelevant. He's Mr. Irrelevant. Like, I don't even like his music. His music's whack. The dude comes off like he's this tough guy, but you weren't that tough when all those dudes were shooting at you, right? You haven't dissed them, right? But you want to diss this 19-year-old kid and talking about how you want to pack him out. You would have packed him out. Shut up. Shut up. Go find the people that shot you and left you to die, right? Don't talk about hurting a 19-year-old kid with no gang ties or anything like that. That's some bullshit, fake tough guy shit. So I do believe the beef between Fivio and plaqueboy Max is staged, but it's a good idea. I mean, plaqueboy Max right now has the ear of all the young kids, right? Um, and you kind of need that in order to drop an album and get people to listen to it that normally wouldn't be listening to you. So yeah, I do believe that's a staged beef. I'm just kind of tired of like all the semantics from it. I do find it's corny that little TJ made some merch with plaqueboy's face on it. Good luck in that lawsuit, buddy. Looks like you're gonna lose some of the little bit of money you have left. But yeah, so you got that, and then you got the Drake situation with UMG. That's where things get a little bit interesting, right? Now, I've been reading a lot on this, and I don't understand what Drake is saying here because if we all recall during the Meek Mill Drake beef, right? Um, Drake's song got a lot of push. Like we heard that song everywhere. It was on the radio, it was in the clubs. Like I was outside during that time. It was everywhere, right? NBA commercials, all that, right? And you didn't hear Meek Mill talk about crying about, hey, the labels pushing this, yada yada yada. Um, Drake was getting reviews from the song, all that stuff, right? It was positive, 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 right? He benefited from that and it hurt Meek Mill's career, right? Meek Mill was up here and he started to drop. He started to drop, right? Like you started to see a hit from his album sales and all that stuff because of that beef. And the way it ended, right? So I don't understand why Drake, you benefited from the label pushing you during your beefs in the past, right? But now that it didn't benefit you, why you want to sue? Why do you want to sue? Now I get it. You get called a pedophile, yada yada yada. None of us really believe that Drake's a pedophile. Yeah, he may have dated younger women and fucked younger women like Ice Spice. And we kind of thought that was kind of creepy. But we know he's come on. We're not thinking you're a pedophile. We just thought the song was pretty funny and we thought the song was popping. Like it's popping. He's trying to say that all these streamers and people who reacted to Kendrick's song were getting paid by labels, right? And that it was getting greenlit so that way they could post it and monetize on YouTube. Well, I did some research, and Drake, your songs also were able to get monetized on YouTube. Your reviews. I did a skit with one of your reviews, with one of your songs in the disc. It's monetized on here. plaqueboy Max did as well. It's monetized. So did Kai, a bunch of people. It's monetized. All that shit's monetized. Joe Budden, monetized, right? Um, so I don't understand that part. I think what it is an ego thing. When you've been famous for so long, like Drake has, and had a run as long as Drake has, right? An incredible run. I'm never gonna stop bumping Drake. Your ego starts to set in. You start to think that you start to get a godlike complex, right? And I think that's what's happened with him. You know, he's gotten so big that he didn't think that he could get touched. And you got touched. And you don't like how it feels. And you don't like how it hurt you or anything like that. And you don't like how it affected your negotiations for a new deal. Okay, everyone has a fall off, my guy. Everyone. I'm not saying your fall off is like a Tom Brady fall off. You're not falling off the cliff, but you're not at the mountaintop anymore, right? Remember when Tom Brady started to fall in his last year and a half, 2 years in the with the Buccaneers? It wasn't a big fall. He was still a top 5 quarterback. He just wasn't number 1 anymore, right? But Tom Brady realized that, and he got out while he was on top, right? Got out while being still that dude, right? Everyone said he could have probably played another couple years, right? So I don't think it's a big deal. I just think that Drake is not handling it well, and it's actually hurting him more, right? I think he should have let this thing go a while ago and just dropped some fantastic, epic music, and we all would have forgot about the beef. The problem is he's keeping it going, and it's hurting him worse. It's making it to where some people are just not going to listen to whatever you put out because they feel like that you have kind of taken it too far. The suing UMG, the suing the content creators because you feel like they did you wrong is horrible. It's not true. It's far from the truth. So all you're doing is hurting yourself. And that's all I'm going to say about it because I don't want to get sued by Drake either. I'm not big enough to get sued by Drake. So I don't want to get sued by Drake. I just think that Drake, suck it up, take it on the chin, bro. We all experience losses. We all got to learn how to come back from a loss and be better. Just use this as motivation. Put a chip on your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Do the Kobe thing. Shouldn't be that bad. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You're still alive. That's all that counts. And the thing is, it didn't have to get that far. Kendrick warned you. He said, you don't want to take it there. If not, I'm taking it further. You just didn't heed to his warning. You took it, you tried to little boy him, and it didn't work. Trying to say that in the lawsuit that, oh, I had to take my kid out of school because of it. What do you think that Kendrick might have got kids went through when you're saying that he beat his mom? You're saying that Kendrick beat. What do you think those kids are saying to Kendrick's kids? So toughen up, Cupcake. It's not the end of the world. I just don't understand it. You gotta take losses sometimes. People just don't know how to take a loss. All right, now let's get into some other news out there. TikTok news, right? We got this ban coming with TikTok. Looks like it's inevitable. Pretty crazy because I don't understand. Like we're supposed to be this whole free speech, all this stuff, right? Not silencing news, and yet we want to silence TikTok. And we're using excuses about like, oh, they're stealing our data, they're stealing your data. The government's been stealing our data for years, and we've kind of had to deal with it. Who freaking cares? This app is not only is it beneficial to small businesses, it's beneficial to creators that are making money and all that stuff. This is going to hurt the economy. You know, you got the Keith Lees out there that have helped so many small businesses. You got so many small businesses that have said that them selling their merch and stuff like that on TikTok and then being able to hit a bigger audience by posting a video and stuff like that has helped them so much. And the government doesn't care. Government only wants to control. They don't care what happens to us people, which fucking sucks. Fucking sucks. So, you know, um, I just hope that the government doesn't ban it and they do the right thing. It's not just for me, but just for the people out there, the people that need this, like small businesses. Think about the small business government. Think about them. But I doubt you guys will, because you guys don't give a fuck about us. It is what it is. But yeah, some of the things going on. Another thing is, man, have you guys been watching the Mr. Beast show on Amazon Prime? Now, I was in the Vegas episodes. I got eliminated really early. But wow, this show turned out a lot better than I thought. Like I'm in a group chat with some people that had met on the show, and like we didn't know what the show was going to be like because us participating in it, you can't really see the vision until it's made, right? After watching the show so far, I'm really impressed with what Mr. Beast has done. I think he's got something really great going on. This show is going to be big. I hope I can get brought back for season 2. Cross my fingers, hope to die. Um, but I really hope I can get brought back. But this show is great. You should definitely watch the Beast Games on Amazon Prime. Great show, you guys. You guys will definitely love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. The dating world out here has been fucking. The dating world is is pretty much fucked up. It's so much expectations, bro. So much expectations. And being 31, it's not like I can't get it's not like I can't get a woman. Right? I can get a woman tomorrow if you want me to. But now I'm at the point where I just don't want to just fuck around, right? And I don't want to just settle either, right? I don't want to just settle. But bro, I'm fighting so much mentally, right? I got this custody battle that I'm dealing with, so it makes it hard to date with this custody battle because it's so fucking mentally draining. I'm telling you, bro, like I thought just being a good guy, I was just gonna win this case so easily. It's not like that, bro. Like I'm getting like her lawyer's throwing these crazy shots. A lot of shit isn't true. Just saying a lot of lies. And I just don't even understand it. Like I'm not even asking to take the kid away from her. I just want 50-50 custody. I'm at the point now where I'm just gonna go offer her like, hey, look, I know child support only wants to take $100 out of my paycheck, right? But here, on top of that $100, I'll give you an extra 300 to 400, maybe even 500 a month. All I want is to see my daughter 50% of the time, like you get her. I get 50%, you get 50% of her. And I will send you, I'll even write up a contract, sign it, and say I'll give you an extra couple $100 a month. Right? I'm gonna actually come to her with this, and hopefully she accepts it. Because I don't know what her thing is. Like, I'm not a bad guy. I've never cursed at her. I've never abused her. Nothing like that. Right? So I don't understand it. I just want to be a dad. That's all I wanted to be. I never got raised by a dad, right? My dad. I never had seen my dad was out of my life by the time I was 5. So I told myself, me and my brother promised ourselves that no matter what, we would be great dads. Didn't matter what we did in life, we'd be great dads. And I look at my little brother and he's kept his promise. Great dad. That's all I want to be is a great dad. She's making it hard, and the judge is making it hard. Like the judge doesn't like my personality, which is weird, right? Like why are we judging me off of my personality? She says that I'm taking it too personal, like that I'm like my facial expressions in court, like when she's attacking me and saying lies, she doesn't like my facial expressions. So what am I supposed to do? Just sit there with a smile on my face while she's saying a lie about me, just so she can win custody? I don't understand that. Excuse me. So I don't know. It's a lot. Looks like I'm gonna have to get a lawyer and bite the bullet on that. So I'll keep you guys updated. I don't want to divulge too much because it's super emotional. Like it's such an emotional thing. All I've wanted to do in my whole life was to be a dad, and to have it be this hard to be a dad is just kind of crazy. Like I knew it was gonna be hard to raise a kid. I just didn't think I was gonna have to fight this woman that doesn't know me and I don't really know her to try to get custody and be in my daughter's life. Like I just don't understand that part. So I believe that kids need both parents in order to be successful. I mean, I'm pretty successful, but I still like think that some of the mental lapses that I had in my life growing up wouldn't have happened if I had both parents. I didn't have either one. Which brings me to that, my birth mother subject, man. Like, I guess she found me on Facebook and was trying to be in my life, but she's already flaked on one visitation. So I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'm not really taking it seriously at all. So it is what it is. 31 years old. You're coming in my life when I'm already a grown adult trying to be a parent. Sorry, you can get to know me, but you're not my parent. But it is what it is when it comes to that. But yeah, this is a good session. We're at what, 40 minutes. Um, this is dope. I think I'm gonna do more of these lives, podcasting, and yeah, we'll see more. This is the HoodTake Podcast. We are out. Peace out, people.